Live and on your side, you're watching WBRC Fox 6 News Sunday.
Cold weather prompting us to turn on the heat, but what are you supposed to do if you can't afford that bill? We have some resources that can help. And tensions growing between Russia and Ukraine, why the president is sending U.S. troops to alleviate the threat. And blizzard-like conditions leaving its mark on the northeast coast. A look at the snow and issues left behind with the nor'easter. Good Sunday morning. I'm Chasity Maxey in for Russell Jones. Let's go to Fred Hunter now for a look at your Sunday weather. It's chilly out there right now.
Yeah, it is. Chasity, that's plenty cold for me.
Yeah, that's pretty cold for me as well. And I'm from Chicago, so that's really saying something, Fred. All right, thanks, Fred. Many of us are seeing our power bills go up as we turn on the heaters to escape the cold. But if you need help paying those bills, state leaders are extending the energy bill assistance funds in Jefferson County. Lauren Jackson talked with some organizations about how they're able to help you with this winter. And that was Lauren Jackson reporting. We have a link to the application on the WBRC News app. Bell says they are scheduling appointments each week. Police in Hoover are trying to piece together what happened to a young woman found dead in her apartment at the Halston complex. They haven't released her identity, but say a family member found the 25-year-old there after she didn't show up for work yesterday. Right now, it's not clear how she died, but police say this is a homicide. Once we learn more, we will pass that information along to you on the WBRC News app. An officer in Fultondale is in the hospital after being hit while responding to a call. State police tell WBRC that the Fultondale police officer was injured yesterday when his patrol car was hit on I-65. Aaliyah tells us the officer and the driver of the car that hit him were both taken to the hospital. We're working to get an update on their conditions. Happening this week, Amazon employees at the Bessemer Fulfillment Center will hold another union vote. You'll remember unionization efforts were defeated in the initial vote last year, but federal officials ordered a new election, concerned that Amazon may have pressured workers to vote no. The Bessemer facility would be the first Amazon facility ever to unionize if workers vote yes. Right now, schools across the state are facing serious shortages of substitute teachers and bus drivers. Some districts are finding out that there are just not enough substitutes to go around. The shortage is not only fueled by temporary teacher absences, but also teachers leaving the profession entirely. State Representative Dr. Eric Mackey says substitutes don't want to be in the classroom either.
Well, many of those retirees, of course, during COVID have not wanted to be in schools where they might be exposed to COVID. So we lost hundreds of substitutes across the state.
Now, schools also need bus drivers. Just last week in Elmore County, more than 20 bus drivers were out sick. Making national headlines, President Joe Biden will soon have to appoint someone to replace Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer, and rumors say he's already eyeing someone. Michelle Childs is believed to be a top choice. Right now, she sits on the U.S. District Court of South Carolina and was nominated to the U.S. Circuit Court by Biden in the past. A confirmation hearing is set for next week. If Childs is nominated, she would be the first black woman to serve as a Supreme Court justice. Will he stay or will he go? Tom Brady is trying to make up his mind on retirement. Yes, they are. The Alabama men's basketball team gave their sold-out crowd a big win last night. It was the tied and number 4 ranked Baylor Bears inside Coleman Coliseum. The team's passing lead score back and forth most of the first half. In the second half, the Tide came back to win it all, thanks to a slam dunk from J.D. Davidson and his assist to Juwan Gary for the alley-oop slam. The final score, 87-78. The guys say they need to keep playing like this.
As long as we keep that for the rest of the year and, just hold our guys accountable and make sure we play like this every game in terms of our energy, I think we'll be really good.
They'll need to keep that same energy up as they take on number 1 Auburn again on Tuesday. And speaking of the Tigers, they'll likely keep their #1 seed after defeating the Oklahoma Sooners on the court yesterday. Auburn keeps the lead most of the game. Jabari Smith shining with 23 points and 12 rebounds. The Tigers win 86-68 to celebrate head coach Bruce Pearl's 8-year contract extension. UAB men's basketball, though, coming back to the Magic City with a loss. It was a tough-fought game. The Blazers down by 9 in the half, but were able to put up 51 points in the second. It wasn't enough. The finals at Marshall University, 81-84. Happening today, we've got NFL on Fox. It's the San Francisco 49ers and Los Angeles Rams playing for the conference championship and the chance to move on to the Super Bowl. The two teams prepping all week. If it's anything like the last set of NFL playoff games, then of course you don't want to miss this. The 49ers and the Rams game here on Fox kicks off at 5:30. Before that, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs battle it out for their championship game at 2 o'clock. Of course, the Super Bowl is in a couple of weeks on February 13th. Well, it's the news taking the sports world by storm yesterday. Is Tom Brady ready to say goodbye to the game? Well, several reports say Brady is retiring after 22 seasons in the NFL. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Brady's representatives have not yet confirmed this. In fact, Brady's own father is now saying that the reports of his son's retirement are, quote, total conjecture. Brady had this to say last year when asked about the possibility of retiring.
You know, I had an incredible 20 years, really this incredible 20 years. And I wouldn't change anything over the course of 20 years that was magical.
Now, the NFL is also not confirming these reports. Still ahead, the Northeast feeling the impact of snow and ice caused by the northeaster moving through. A look at what's happening along the East Coast. Welcome back. In news across America, thousands of people are waking up without power because of a snow that was brought on by a nor'easter. This time yesterday morning, a half a foot of snow had already blanketed the ground from New York to Maine. Snow continued to blow in throughout the day. People along the northeast coast dealt with blizzard-like conditions. Luckily, Fred says the snow is moving out, but people will still have to deal with the snow on the ground for at least a little while longer. Terrifying moments in Pittsburgh when a bridge collapsed last week. Rescuers had to form a human chain to pull several people from a dangling bus on Friday. 10 people were hurt and 3 went to the hospital. This collapse happened just hours before President Joe Biden was scheduled to be in the area to talk about infrastructure. The city is investigating to find out what caused that collapse. Could former President Donald Trump be considering another presidential run for office? Well, he held a campaign-style rally in Texas yesterday. There, he said if he runs and wins, he'll consider pardons for the rioters who stormed the Capitol on January 6th, saying they were being treated unfairly. The House Select Committee is still investigating everything that happened that day. In Ohio, 13 people remain in the hospital because of life-threatening carbon monoxide levels detected at a hotel. Officials say the fire department was called out because a 2-year-old girl was found unconscious in a pool in a Hampton Inn in Marysville. First responders say several adults at the pool reported dizziness and a burning feeling in the back of their throats. Officials did find dangerous levels of carbon monoxide, but the source is unclear. The hotel was evacuated and the cause of that leak is under investigation. The anti-vaccine Freedom Convoy in Canada has reached their capital of Ottawa. The parade of 18-wheelers and supporters started as the response to the Canadian government's decision to require vaccines for cross-border truckers. This was a peaceful yet noisy protest once truckers reached the capital. The event is expected to carry on today, but Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his family are staying at an undisclosed location. Well, not everyone has to think about where their next meal is coming from, but for some kids, that's all they think about. A look at the food insecurities in our community and how you can help up next. Tens of thousands of children in Alabama are dealing with food insecurities. The Food Bank of Central Alabama wants to help by providing food for all families year-long. Russell Jones has more. Happening now, health leaders say the Omicron variant of COVID-19 is infecting more school-age children than the Delta variant. In Jefferson County, doctors tell us that 10 to 19-year-olds are accounting for the highest number of cases. Dr. David Hicks with the county health department says they are also seeing an increase in pediatric vaccination since the Omicron surge. Right now in the county, 74% of kids ages 5 to 12 have at least one shot, and 80% of kids aged 12 to 18 have also received a dose. Hicks says these increases are likely coming from school cases and changes, and parents also becoming more comfortable.
People are getting more comfortable with the idea of, okay, it's been months now and kids have gotten vaccinated and we haven't heard anything alarming and concerning. So I may be more comfortable now to make that decision versus where I may have been 2 or 3 months ago.
Now, Dr. David Hicks with the Jefferson County Health Department says this variant is infecting more school-age children than the Delta variant, and that also means it's infecting more teachers. Dr. Hicks says except in the younger than 18 age group, there hasn't been an increase in vaccine numbers since Omicron. Happening tomorrow, your commute along Highway 65 in Birmingham may be impacted. AlDOT will be doing pavement repair inspections on the north and southbound sides of I-65 between 16th Street exit and Daniel Payne Drive. That's between exits 261 and 264. This starts at 9 a.m. and will last until 3:30 p.m. Lane closures will be handled as a rolling roadblock so you can still get through. President Joe Biden now sending U.S. troops to Eastern Europe as tensions rise between Russia and the Ukraine. Fox News correspondent Lucas Tomlinson has more. A reminder this morning that if you need a warm place to stay in Birmingham, there are shelters at the downtown branch of the YMCA. It will be open through tonight from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. There are also shelters at the Salvation Army on 26th Avenue North, the Firehouse Shelter for Men on 2nd Avenue North, and First Light Shelter for Women on 4th Avenue North. We have an update this morning on the Hoover Mom raising money for classroom air purifiers. After our report, Kate Davis says a manufacturer reached out and will be donating 20 units to help out. Davis has raised more than $4,200 over the past 2 weeks to help purchase air purifiers for Hoover classrooms. She started out hoping to raise money for 5 units, but the need kept growing. They've purchased over 20 units so far, and requests have grown to over 150.
Everybody's really excited and very grateful and thankful to have the community pulling together like this to help them out and, help with peace of mind.
Davis is hoping to inspire others to do the same thing in their child's classrooms and school districts. You can find a link on how to donate over on the WBRC News app.
Please join me in welcoming the next head football coach of your Miles College Golden Bear, Coach Sam Shade.
Former Alabama football player Sam Shade is the new head coach for Miles College. Shade spent the last 2 years as head coach at Pinson Valley, winning 1 state title. He's taking over a program that's had a lot of success, but he says he wants to take it to another level.
Come in and take it to what I call take it to the next level. That's my plan for Miles College. That's my vision. We won conference championships. My plan is, why not go compete for national championships? Those are things on the field.
Now, Shade says he started interviewing the current Miles staff last week, and he may retain some, but he also plans to bring in some new faces. The Birmingham Bulls win their match Friday night, all in honor of one of the team's biggest fans who was killed last year. You may remember Birmingham firefighter Christopher Easter was shot and killed at his home in Pelham last month. He was an avid fan of the hockey team. His wife and brother dropped the puck on the ice to start the game on Friday night, and the Bulls team captain wore a jersey with Easter's name on the back. First responders were given free tickets to come to the game as well.
This game is dedicated to Christopher Easter, who was a big part of the Birmingham Bulls family. He was a member of the Booster Club. He also played on a hockey team here.
Easter also helped to start the Rowdy Bunch fan section for the Bulls. snacks are now the latest victim of inflation. Mondelez International, the parent company of Nabisco products like Oreos, Chips Ahoy, Ritz crackers, and other favorites, may be raising its prices again. The company says issues with raw materials, shipping delays, and labor shortages are all a factor. Mondelez says the price they pay for wheat and sugar are rising, so they're having to raise the prices as well. Several music icons now pulling their hits from the streaming site Spotify. Joni Mitchell and Neil Young, some of the most notable. This as popular podcaster Joe Rogan is coming under fire for allegedly spreading COVID vaccine misinformation. The artists say Spotify's support of Rogan is fueling their choice to leave the platform. Apple might let you use Face ID with a mask on in its upcoming update, making tech lovers pretty excited. According to various reports, the feature can recognize the user's unique traits around the eyes, granting access to their device. However, the update might only be available for the latest iPhones 12 and 13. The feature does not seem to be available for older iPad models. Apple has yet to confirm this new modification.
Chasity, I'm glad to have you along. Hope it was enjoyable. Let's go get some croissants.
Yeah, let's go get some croissants. And I just want to wish my brother a happy birthday.
Yeah.
If you're still watching, Kenny, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Chastity's brother.